Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK and EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined by the lovely Stefana. Stefana, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Enjoying a good afternoon, evening.
Oh,
Um, with
yes,
you.
yes, exactly. And we are going to discuss something because, here's the thing. Why even bother with a path? Why do we need to walk the path? I know most people can only share from their own experience, but from your experience, your perspective, why is walking the path needed in today's world? As a mother, as a wife, as a successful person, as a any of the different things that job titles or things we have out there. Why is it needed?
I'm the prime example of a person that needed that because I've searched everywhere. I was brought up in this family. My mom was very new age. My father was into science and aliens. My grandma was very orthodox, taking me to the church, and I was so confused. I did get a lot of concepts and a lot of good from everything, but I was so confused, which made me a seeker, I suppose. Um, and I went everywhere and to this workshop and travel there and travel that and do this. And I felt like I was stuck in the first grade, having like 10 teachers telling me different things. Some of them were the same, some of them were different. And I was stuck. And when I found a path, when I went into Empower Thyself, not just that I found the answers, that I was looking everywhere. Who am I? Where am I coming from? Why am I here? Where am I going? It was like, okay, I finished first grade. I felt I finished first grade. What's next? Because you don't want to just do 2 plus 2 and stay there. You want to know, okay, how do I do many other stuff? So the path opens in the Modern Mystery School, which is amazing. And I think it never ends because God never ends and light never ends. So I see to the people around me as well and my clients when they come to Empower Thyself that they finally settle. It's the same as having a family. You want to have a family, you want to have a home, you want to have a structure, you want to have something you come to and you go from. And that's the path. It's home.
I love all of that you said, and I love in particular the reference to I felt the same too. It's like being in that, trying lots of different things, which was amazing at the time, and I really felt like, oh, it was, I can get this information, is this is great, and then it wasn't getting me anywhere. It wasn't, it was information and it was something, yeah, that's great, which was nice, but it wasn't doing anything. And that's so true. It's like, okay, you get that, and then it's like, well, okay, now what? And that's what the path brought for me as well. And you're so right, it is like, a home in the sense that you're finding yourself, that you're coming home to yourself. So it's so familiar when other people around you are doing that as well. It's like, oh my goodness. And I love that on the path as well. So talking about the path, I mean, what is the path? Where can people start? So if somebody was coming to you and said, great, I love what you said, Stefana, I totally agree. What is the path? What can people do?
Well, we all start with what we call a life activation because that's the first key. And for me was the first key that dropped because again, going back, I've been searching, but I never felt pure light. Maybe I had little moments, but that pure light that came through my first life activation, it was a confirmation that there must be more, and whatever I'm going forward to is going to be of the light. And you start with the life activation, which opens up. I felt plugged back into the light, into the connection with God, and this is actually what I had a life activation today, and this is exactly the same thing people say, and this is the path: is thousands and thousands of years of shared experience, not just knowledge, but shared experience of people that heal, that live a better life, that have a better understanding as well of what the universe is. And the path opens. And I always say in the Empower Thyself, because that comes after life activation, when you are ready to, okay, go from the life activation to the first grade, as I call it, and go to Empower Thyself and have 2 days of opening up to the mysteries of the universe. And the universe is you, first of all, your own universe, and the universe outside of us, that it's interconnected. And everyone sees that clarity of pure light. And that's why the path keeps opening and opening and opening. And I say this, you cannot feed a baby a 3-course meal. So we start with the life activation, and then you go to empower thyself, and then the table just becomes wider and wider. And then you have the healer path, which is we're actually having that in London in October, and we have many people coming. So there's great deal in there, because that's where you find out that actually it's time for you to share the light. And it was for me, I think I did my Empower Thyself somewhere in July, and in October I was already in healers, because what I saw that transforming into my life, I wanted everyone to have it. um, and then you go into, well, if you wish so, you have the warrior path, which is, we need that. Because what the warrior path taught me in the school is discipline, and is getting out of my comfort zone, and is projecting that outside of myself as well. So, and the path is open, but we have the healer and we have the warrior. And as we know, King Solomon really wanted his healers to be warriors and the warriors to be healers, because we have to balance that within ourselves.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I always wanted to be very free. So if somebody had said to me, "Oh, you have to follow this, or you have to do that, or this, that, the other," my ego is so, I'm not doing this. I'm not, and what I didn't realize is that it's actually a path to freedom. I never understood that a structure gives you freedom, because I'd already been, I was so programmed from my human, kind of surroundings, to say that any type of structure or any type of rule or any type of guidance or anything like that was limiting me, because the ego does a really great job of,
Yes.
it's really smart, does a really great job of kind of taking you away from who you really are. And then I realized that, oh my goodness, the path and these recipes or these protocols are tried and tested, and therefore it gives you an expansion way beyond that you could even imagine, which is complete freedom. So that was the other thing, that all of those steps gave me. It's this complete freedom, to do whatever I want, and I can eat what I want and travel when I want, and do, all these different types of things that most people want in life. And it was that path that really delivered that, which is the funniest thing, isn't it?
And it's also community, because the more you leave behind who you're not, and the more you find out who you are, and you tune into that individuality, that divine individuality of yours, the more you want to find those kind of people that vibrate that way. And what I love on the path, because we're speaking about the path, is joy. I was so used kneeling and taking teachings with my head down and kneeling, which there's moments where that's awesome, but there's moments when you just want to learn with joy. Children want to learn with joy. When we send them to school, we want them teachers to know, okay, here is discipline, but here you're allowed to have joy, and you're allowed to learn in this vibration. So what I found on the path as well, yeah, is joy.
And on that subject, we, of course, being a Hermetic tradition, we actually have that class. You kind of all, I don't know if we could say it's like a one-stop shop in that class, because everything is in there, isn't it? For the joy, for if you're seeking joy in your life, I mean, the Hermetic Joy class, which is open to all adepts. So if you've been to Empower
Yeah.
Thyself, you can come to that.
Everyone wants joy.
Yes.
Everyone wants joy. And imagine opening the door in the beautiful London to a place where someone actually holds the keys of joy, because we all are seeking it, and you stay in that frequency, and you actually get to understand and to feel and to have the whole concept energetically in all the way of joy. That's one of the classes that has changed my life, because I finally understood what I was looking for. And the joy I was looking for was very different that the joy that comes from God. And I think that's where we want to tune in. So that's a great opportunity. Thank you for having that for us. And
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. And, you know, I know our time's coming to an end, but, you know, even if you've taken the class gazillion times and you're listening to this, take it again is what I would say. I've taken it almost every single time it's been on, and I have received something new every single time. It is pure magic, because there's so much information in there. You just you can't take it in the first time, the second time, third time, fourth time. You're picking bits up that are like bombshells. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. But then, you know, there's so much more. So, you know, I would always say, you know, that's, you know, one of my top tips is audit.
Top tips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Audit,
And every time you go, you're a different person. And every time you go to any of the classes, you clear out more and more of the shadows inside that we keep, because we're talking about the ego. So you have more light and more space to receive. And I'm sure you have a lot of joy now, because
I do. And I think we can round it up by saying, and that's true for every single class on the path, you know, empower thyself, or astral travel, or sacred geometry, you know, audit, and if you feel called, because you will receive something completely new that you didn't get the first time, just because of how you just explained that. You're a completely different person. That's the path. You are a completely different person every single day.
yes, we could speak about the path for 3,000 hours, but the best thing is for everyone to just experience it and see if it's for yourself.
100%. If you would like to have a life activation, empower thyself, Healers Academy, the Hermetic classes, whatever stage you're at, and you feel like you would like to take that next step on the path, then you can contact myself. I will contact you. I'll put you in touch with the nearest person. And if you're in Romania, contact Stefana. She'll be there to help you. So thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you. A pleasure as always. And lots of love and joy, and see you in London.
See you in London soon. Take care. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.